Kia ora, ko Janice the Takuangoa. I'm the founder and project lead for Koha, an organisation who works with people with disabilities based here in Invercargill. I'm doing a series of video logs. This is the sixth in the series that talk about the inspiration and the evolution of Koha as an organisation. So in my video log, the last one that I did, I talked about Koha, about how the name actually evolved. And this time I just wanted to explain a little bit about how at the time when I was working in the disability sector and this organisation was still actually beyond the radar, but we were starting to work cohesively as a group. So we were, there was about 8 or 10 people generally who were participating and contributing towards cooking 5 meals, 5 wholesome, nourishing, fresh meals for people that were going to support their nutritional needs. We talked about the health benefits that became visible to us after a very brief period, and we talked about how already people were starting to identify the value that they saw in what we were doing through a letter of thanks from a parent, through communications from friends and neighbours of another person in community, and through the way that information was fed back to our guys. They were very happy being there, and they developed some quite nice friendships just within that same little network. But I did identify that actually it was still a whole bunch of people with disabilities all in together, and I needed to find a way to incorporate or welcome other people from the community into that, but I still didn't know how quite to take that step. So eventually it kind of evolved. We knew that what we were doing was good. We knew that it was making a difference in the lives of the people that I was supporting. We also knew that it was only a matter of time before someone came and said, well, that doesn't matter how good the work is that you're doing, you're still cooking meals in a shed with disabled people, in a shed, health and hygiene and safety, all those things. And I'm not diminishing those things, but I also would like to remind people that I worked in all of these other people's homes with them. And in comparison to some of those homes that I worked in, I was able to clean thoroughly and sanitize and have a much healthier workspace in that shed than what some of those people had in their homes. That's just the reality. So anyway, after a period of time, there came a time when my bosses came and said, look, I know you're doing good work, but this is going to be a minefield for us with health and safety. It needs to stop. Sorry, but we're supposed to be doing individualized work, working one-on-one with people, and you're working with a bunch of people, and that doesn't work within our kaupapa, within our directives. It doesn't. We're not an answer. We're not answering correctly with the contracts that we have with the health department, and it didn't matter what service that you're in. The reality was that these are the restrictions that were going to be on us. I'm sorry, but it has to stop. Yeah, nah. And so I broke another cardinal rule, because I was weighing off, for me, is the value of improved health, improved wellness, making friends, learning new skills, achieving people's goals, helping with budgets, is that more important than meeting the rules for a service that wasn't cutting the mustard? And I thought, no, that's not working for me. So for the next 3 months, I actually took it home. Not supposed to take people to your home when you're working with people in the disability sector, but I didn't know how else to deal with it. So for 3 months, and I also said to the guys, hey, listen, I'm not having 10 or 12 of you in my house trying to cook in that environment. So we can put you onto a roster about every third week, 3 of you can come with me and we'll do it. And I'm not allowed to do it during work time, so it's got to be in the evening. So that's what we did. They would come around one evening a week, and we would cook enough meals to cover whatever we had. And I froze the meals that we had as surplus at my place. And then I thought, actually, there's a lot of other people who would probably benefit from this. So I put the word out, and sure enough, there were other disabled people from within our own network, and elderly people as well, from my personal network. And they would pay $5 for these meals. So it was actually increasing our budget that allowed us to get better quality food. We could cook roasts because we could afford to buy them, and those kinds of things. And so it kind of evolved from there. We were supporting ourselves, and we were starting to support other people in the community. And it was also sending my power bill through the roof. And my husband was giving me a sideways glance. So I sort of thought, well, I knew that this was just an interim solution, but at least it maintained the momentum for the people that were benefiting and that were demonstrating benefits from the meals that we were creating. So it kind of was a trade-off there. Anyway, around about this time, I was taking my grandson to school one day, and as I walked back through the playground, I noticed in the hall there, I looked through the window, and here is a kitchen, and it's full of boxes. And I thought, this is obviously being used as storage. What's the go here? And I talked to some of the teachers, and they said, oh yes, well, we used to have a canteen in there, but the government said that you're not allowed to sell chips and lollies and soft drinks and things like that. So and there's no money in healthy food, and so it just stopped, and now we just use the kitchen for storage. The breakfast in schools, that they've got their stuff in there too, but nah, it's not being used. And I thought, okay, here's an opportunity.